Sri Lanka. It's home for me.
You know, when we first start off, we see like the visuals and the videos of like what happened to their country, and it was very heartbreaking to see how something that happened, you know, like quite a while ago, like is still affecting them to this day. Hearing them talk about the bomb was also very like sad, and it was actually like painful to hear and hard to hear, and I can tell that it was hard for them to talk about. As we move along in the film, we learn about Sri Lanka, and I think it's such a beautiful like organization. I think my favorite part of it is that they don't discriminate on religion or race. So it's definitely a great way to get all different people of different religions and races and backgrounds together and to, you know, be a part of something beautiful, which is like, you know, creating peace and unity within their country. And I think for that, this film was very powerful and very heartwarming.
I loved the title reference to the John Donne poem, No Man is an Island. And this documentary really captured that concept for me. Well, this was obviously a horrible event. It was quite tragic, and you can see how events like this, coming from having being torn by war initially, to have something like this happen, it just puts everybody on edge, and you start to be distrusting of your fellow man and woman. But with this, in the initial aftermath, you could see the dedication that Sri Lankans had for each other, and the fact that they were going to donate their blood, and calling their friends and family to do the same was a beautiful act. And I think that part of the film really stuck with me, but it encaptured all the rest of it and what this group is doing. Extremely heartwarming, and it makes you want to be part of the cause. So I was very grateful to see this piece.
Powerful and heart-wrenching film. They did a really great job of cutting in between interview-style scenes, cut in with present day as well as real-life footage. It was very informative, educational, but also obviously quite emotional. They touched on a lot of really important issues, and in particular coming from a young person who has experienced war in his lifetime. I thought that he had a really interesting perspective, and that experience made him and his group of friends even more motivated to create a new future for his country. It's just incredibly inspiring, and we really see that there can be so much divide between people, groups of people, religions, but also you can have a group of people who are so different and don't let those things divide them, coming together to make a difference. So there's just this interesting kind of juxtaposition between these two groups, one who's full of hate and the other full of love. And I think this film just shows no matter what, we're all humans with stories and loved ones that are left behind when we're gone.
It's got a great production value to it. Off the bat, you get this real cinematic quality, and it draws you in, and then the tone kind of shifts, and the tone does this, I want to say at least 2 more times. It's kind of up and down that way, because they're trying to portray it seems, the southern India as accurately as they can, and even a place that's war-torn and from civil war for 27 years can, people living there, they normalize it, I guess, and they find their own kind of happiness. It's home, it's always home. And I just think this documentary did a great job at encapsulating that. It feels like they didn't really leave a lot out in such a short time. I think they got to all the crucial factors, and they presented it all wonderfully. So yeah, worth checking out.
Drawn into the aerial views and the lush greenery and the charms of Sri Lanka's rich culture. I listened to this storytelling, and he's recounting the Sri Lanka of his youth, and I'm all in. This is another one which hijacked my emotions. At first, everything's all good, everything's grand, and then it took a turn that I really wasn't expecting. I thought that it was well balanced. It captured the war, and then captured the good times, and then captured the bombing, and then captured all of Sri Lanka's potential to heal. I thought the live footage of all of these horrible events was highly effective in myself placing like myself in the fear of that moment, because that's something that we don't really think about unless we have to experience it. For them to say that bombing and shots fired is just like a part of their everyday life is just crazy to me, because I don't even know how I would react in that situation.
The story and the way it was told was so beautiful, and it sowed so much hope and like prospects of the future and what it could be, and resilience into the story throughout the entire thing. Like the formation of Sri Lanka and like the concept behind it, and how they really were just trying to do whatever they could do. All of that are like, those are the stories that inspire so much. Those are the stories that you hear about, or you hear like 2 times removed or 3 times removed, and you almost want to, in some way, you want to match the good in the world, because there is so much bad in the world, and I feel like these are the stories that inspire that reaction.
A really impressive job of displaying the current issues that are going on in Sri Lanka and the efforts that are being made both by its citizens and its global citizens, people around the world who are just invested in the well-being of the country itself, are enacting in order to try and improve the quality of life there for its citizens, and to ensure that it will have a better future than its tumultuous past. We see a lot of the issues in Sri Lanka relative and reflective to issues that go on all around the world, including in the United States. Issues of radicalism and bigotry and just utter cruelty that results in innocent lives being forever changed and some completely snuffed out. The images throughout the documentary, which show many of the victims of the bombings, was particularly impactful, as we see leftover shrapnel in children's backs and others with serious eye problems. It really brings it home, the importance of the work that is being conducted by groups like Sri Lanka, so that not only can we just recover from these types of tragedies, but we can also prevent them from occurring again.